Hello, this is Leszek Szymaszek. In this video, I'm going to show you the main aspects of the code for the Bike Warehouse. Bike Warehouse is a Java Spring application. This is a Maven project. So first, let's have a look at the pom.xml file. So the dependencies are pretty self-explanatory, but I wanted to show you the plugin I used, and it is Cargo Maven plugin. It was very useful with running the application. I used the cargo run methods with Tomcat 9 embedded. It was way better than the standalone Tomcat I previously used within Eclipse. This is less error prone. Okay, this is all about pom.xml. So let's have a look about the web config class, which is, as I said, a configuration class. So this is the annotation of a configuration, enable MVC because this is a MVC project. SLF4j for logging, component scan. This is base package and property source because the properties will be read from this file. This is over here. Resistance file secret properties. This is for the database connection. Okay. And constants for the view resolver environment required. And let's have a look at the bin methods. And so view resolver, data source, and here are the properties from the properties file. This is using get property method, which is private. I will show you in a moment. A local session factory bin and Hibernate transaction manager. This is this method for getting the proper property. Okay, this is all. And a short way. Security config. We are using user service here, and this is all that helps to prevent unauthorized access to some pages, like we see in this video where I was showing the Bike Warehouse project. Some URLs were inaccessible for the users or guests, but they were accessible for admins. And here is how it's done everywhere here. Okay, and also bin methods, bcrypt, password encoder, because I am using bcrypt as a crypting algorithm for the user's passwords, authentication provider, and authentication success handler. Okay, from the configuration classes, this is the most interesting. The rest of the stuff you can have a look at my GitHub. Okay, so let's have a look at the controller classes. This is the bike controller class. Okay, annotated as a controller fields, it's used bike service and user service. Constructors, handler methods. This is all the logic I used for this actually for the table summary, visible only for the admins. And this is adding the attribute of user. What else? This is adding a bike. This is the route for adding a new bike, also available only for the admins. This is actually showing form for adding a bike, and this is adding bike. This is a binding result because the adding bike form is validated, and here is all the logic needed for this. This is deleting bike, showing bike. Once again, I'm not going to show everything and explain everything. You can have a look at my GitHub and see for yourself. You can email me, ask a question. This is showing all the bikes. Sorry, searching the bikes. Like the comment says, showing bike was higher. Showing bike was here. Yes. Yes, this is it. Scroll down, searching the bikes, and the mapping for the contact page. And here we have our contact private methods. They are also well described. This is the method that helped me to create this feature for showing comments that they were posted 2 days ago or 3 days ago. This is the method that helped me implement this. And you see this months, years, days, hours, minutes, seconds. The other private methods are for counting bikes, etc. I'm not gonna explain everything. It's quite a lot of it. It's for summing the bikes table. Count controller. I auto-wire the constructor. Most of all, I use this constructor auto-wired everywhere in the project, in the fields where are final. This is for posting the comment, adding it to the database. Okay, deleting comment route with all of the logic and private methods. This method checks if the admin has an admin role or not. Okay, login of controller. This is I'm just showing front page, showing systems, login form, and access denied page. Regular registration controller, also pretty self-explanatory. Also auto-wired constructor. This is init binder. and this is around to showing the registration form and processing registration form of all the logic. You can see it here. And this is checking if the username exists or the email exists. If yes, the error should appear and show that we already got this user. Choose another username or choose another email. User controller, also auto-wired constructor with handler methods for displaying user profile with all the logic and displaying. This is the admin panel. I call it in the project. I call it admin panel, and here I have show users. It's also correct. Show search users. So after the searching. This is a route for deleting the user and making an admin with logic also. Okay, this is all about the controller. This is the DAO layer for data access object. I will show only the implementations. Let's go to the top. A lot of constant fields. This class has a lot of constant fields as well as the queries. And here it goes. This is getting bikes. And logic for this. This is for showing all the bikes in the table. This is for adding the bike. Setting some properties. Okay. Also, the Boolean flag is used here because I am this method returns Boolean. I use it for adding a Boolean model attribute later on. And when the attribute is true, I display some messages. If it's false, I don't display these messages. A lot of talking about it. But you saw these messages. These are the pop-up flash messages after deleting a bike or adding a bike, etc. This is getting a bike, so getting the correct bike from the database based on the bike ID. Deleting bike based on the bike ID. Updating bike based on bike. This is setting some parameters on the query. Also, this method returns boolean, and searching the bikes doesn't return anything. No, sorry, it returns a list of bikes. Sorry. Uh, so after you enter something for searching and enter search and click search, this method is called. These methods are for table summary, for summing bikes, value of the bikes in a number of different brands, and private methods. This is a kind of helper methods. I wrote them many weeks ago, actually, but I remember what's all about. This is for a proper query. This is kind of trick method. It cuts comma. I remember. Doesn't matter. It cuts a comma from the byte type, which is helped to later remove this type and substitute it with another. Now, command DIO, similar to the byte DIO word constructor, adding comment method, deleting comment method, getting comment by ID, getting a user for comment, so which user write this comment, and that's all with the queries. Role DIO, pretty short class, also auto-write constructor, finding a role by its name, and finding a role by ID we've got here, and user DIO implementation, showing the users, finding users. So this is for searching purposes in admin panel, as I showed you, giving the admin role to the user, also checking some logic before, and finding user by name, finding user by email, by ID, saving the user in the database, deleting the user from the database, and that's all about the DIO. Let's switch to the service now. Service just calls a proper DIO method from the DIO class, as you can see here or here. And the method has a transactional annotation, nothing interesting more here. Let's have a look at the entities. This is the bike entity. For Hibernate, here it goes. Imports. Okay, so it's got the fields of ID, brand, and this is the validation on the fields from Hibernate Validator. This is quite a lot of this, and validation on the price, quantity in stock, and this is the one-to-many mapping to the comments, because one bike can have multiple comments. This is how it's annotated. I excluded toString and used Lombok project here, so I can do that. That's because that's why I have only the constructors here. I don't have getters and setters. I don't need to have that. I have this from Lombok here. This is structure. You can check it out. We have all these getter, setter, toString methods. All of this that is needed. Comments, same here. Also, comment must have a bike. This is the many-to-one notation. And a comment must have a user. Similar to the similar annotated as the bike, because this looks pretty much the same. Also constructors, and overridden comparative methods, so I can compare comments based on, if I remember, yes, I've created at the date. The comments are compared on the date. I use it to sort them and display them in the proper order, descending or ascending. Our role, only two fields and constructors, user, a bit more. Also the roles, collection of roles, because a user can have a multiple roles and the user can have a multiple comments. Constructors and getters and setters from the Lombok, as I mentioned before. What's more, this is the CRM user. This is the important part because this is the user that comes from the registration form, and is also validated using the Hibernate validator, and not only the Hibernate validator, also a custom validation like this, valid email. Here it is, valid email validator, and constructor, pretty self-explanatory. This is the validation, size, not null. Okay, let's go further. Utils package is all about the constants, as you can see here or here. This is actually for the this is not a constant, this is a JSP taglet functions. This is something interesting and something I was really proud of when I was creating the project. Mappings, this is mainly the constant, so this class is final, so it cannot be extended, and have a private constructor, so it cannot be instantiated. This is just a class for holding the statics. Same here, same here, same here. These are the validator classes. This is email validator, regex, which I used for a valid email. Field match. Okay, let's go deeper. This is the logback file. This is how the logger is set. Pattern which it uses to display logs, and levels. So from the Mashik has got a debug level and Spring Framework and Hibernate only info, because debug is a lot of logs. A lot of logs, so info is enough unless something bad happens. Those properties files I already showed you. These are SQL scripts. Only just open one or two. You can run these SQL scripts, and these are scripts that has also pre-populating the data, so you can run the application at your own computer with pre-populated data. This one also. Okay, so let's go to the web app resources. So this is the landing CSS where the animation was made. Here it is. And styles CSS, custom styling for the other pages. Okay, let's close it off. Okay, and the views, footer, navbar. These are the partials. This navbar is pretty similar to. It's actually the same in all the pages, but it has some logic. Like for example, where it is. Like here, checking if the user is anonymous. So it has a logic in here, and it displays different things depending on the situation. And this is a taglibs. Actually, I didn't know if it's good practice to put them in one file and then include in all other JSP files, but I did this this way. So as you can see, we've got a C taglib, which is for JSTL tags, functions, form taglib, security, These are the imports for the classes, and this is my own tag library, which I used for making some useful functions, which I later used in JSP. Okay, and the JSP pages also. Quite a lot of this. I'm not gonna explain what's what, but there is, like I say, there is a lot of comments. Also, it doesn't look very good because I use IntelliJ Community Edition and it doesn't support JSP files, so it is quite hard to edit them and write them, but I managed to do that. There is almost no color support, etc. Okay, adding a bike, also including tag libs here. Bootstrap, custom style sheets, font assemblies for icons, date picker, which I used when adding a new bike. Here's the script for the date picker, and the rest of the content. Quite a lot of it, no time for explaining everything. As I said, you can always have a look at my GitHub, check the code, ask questions if you have any. Okay, so I'm not going to show all these files. So it will be everything for this video, and I hope you like it. You can clone the project yourself, run the SQL scripts, and you will have a bike warehouse on your own computer. Thank you. Bye.